But those were so far superior because that allowed us to discreetly do surveillances. And then VCR technology. Okay, come on. That was exciting stuff, folks. That was exciting stuff when we got it. And then methodology still, shoplifting, employee theft, armed robberies, check fraud, and the early phases of what we recognized, not that it wasn't around, but organized retail crime. So organized retail crime could be one or two people that are targeting my Sears stores or my Kmart stores, and they're selling the stuff at a local flea market or to, a local store. This ramped up, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. So in the 80s, again, the same kind of people, but now you saw people seeing this maybe as a career, Not necessarily were we attracting college graduates into that, although we got a few. But then the focus of what we started doing kind of started shifting into what we call shortage control, which is how do you prevent the losses in the stores? How do you deter the thieves from getting to the merchandise, stealing it? How do you stop the associates from stealing from you, whether it's merchandise or it's on the register? Physical security, still a big deal for us now. But then you started getting into merchandise protection strategies, which is taking not only, it's not just locking stuff up, putting things in cases or putting, the bands around it or putting the tags on it, but it's now starting to figure out, does it make sense to do it? Is there a return on investment for doing that? What does it cost us from a labor standpoint? What does it cost us in impacted sales? What does it cost us, or what does it benefit us in reduced shrink? EAS was really starting to take hold, and that's, everybody, who knows what EAS is? All right, EAS is electronic article surveillance. So all of those panels at the doors that go off that nobody responds to, the tags that you have on the merchandise when you go home that isn't taken off and you got to take it back, right? Well, those systems create a deterrent value. So deterrence theory started coming in there. So EAS is not meant to stop everybody, but it creates a deterrent. It creates a risk. And EAS, when we put it into our stores, we got a 30–35% reduction in shrink in the stores. I do that every day. Criminal methodology still, shoplifting, employee theft, refund fraud, coupon fraud, counterfeiting, check fraud. Refund fraud started to become a big deal because, again, we said that we had mechanized POS, so we can now get to this data and we could start manipulating it. And systems became more available to the loss prevention people to be able to understand, whose refund that is, frequency of refunds, addresses, etc. So we could start reducing the impact that fraud had on us. So now we get to the 90s. We start seeing certification programs. Now these are not necessarily college degrees, but they are, as is has a certification program. Gene Smith here, now he wasn't around doing this in the 90s, but there are certification programs like LPQ, LPC. There are certified fraud examiners. There are the Wicklander and Zulawski. So there are these technical certifications that give you credibility and give you an education on skill sets that you need to be successful in loss prevention. And then criminal justice majors started to sniff out that maybe that there was a career here. Maybe there was an opportunity. By the way, we as retailers do a horrible job of letting you know from a criminal justice majors what the opportunities are in retail loss prevention. And that's certainly a big opportunity that we have. From POS exception reporting, EAS, again, we talked about that. And our loss prevention managers started taking on more of a general manager role, participating as a member of the management team in the store, which did a couple of different things. It helped them integrate the programs into the daily lives of the associates. And quite honestly, it gave that individual and that program more credibility with the store associates. So that was a very important shift. Again, we still have the old shoplifting, employee theft. Organized retail crime continued to ramp up, and to the point that it includes global cartels that go out and get shoplifters to shop for stuff that they want. It gets packed up. It could be sold back to the retailers. You don't know. Or it could be packed up and sold overseas. Lot of money. You see a lot of these organized retail crime teams being brought down and targeted now. And the sophistication of employee theft became greater and greater and greater as our systems we became more reliant on systems, and as the associate became more sophisticated with technology, they started pushing the parameters of our systems and found better ways and more difficult ways for us to find to steal from us. 2000. So what happened in early 2000? September 11th, 2001. The importance of loss prevention within a retail environment just shifted, it changed. We're now starting to see the purposeful entrant. Not like me. I stumbled into loss prevention. I stumbled into retail. I went into retail for 6 months because I was going to be a hospital administrator. By the way, I'm a nurse. I'm a licensed nurse. I was a corpsman in the Navy, came out, worked in hospitals as I went through school. So that's what I was going to do. Here I am, some years later, still in retail. So now we're starting to see people that are choosing this as a profession. They're college educated, they're technologically savvy. It's like my daughter. My daughter's just going to graduate. I have two graduates. My daughter's graduating with her master's next month also. I remember her on my Apple IIe sitting in my office, and she's just pounding away, and she's 2 years old. She's not afraid of anything from a computer technological standpoint. She pushes the envelope with that, as you all do, I know. They come in and they have the ability to do great analytics. We've started developing, you start seeing more retail organizations that are developing internally candidates for our management teams. We have great development programs, great technical skill training programs. So you're getting a mix of internally developed and externally developed from a college standpoint, and very quickly up to speed. Because quite honestly, folks, loss prevention, the technical side of it isn't all that hard to learn. The skill sets that we need in loss prevention managers are the same skill sets that we need in any great management position. They're all the same. Loss prevention universities. There are currently 83 universities that have either loss prevention programs as majors, or they have loss prevention as a selection within a criminal justice major. We're starting to attract a lot of high caliber public employees that are coming from the FBI, Secret Service, DEA. From a technology standpoint, we're moving into the 21st century. IP cameras, which are Internet Protocol cameras, away from analog. So they're bunches of X and O's. So we can move that camera, that data. We can manipulate that data. We can hook systems onto it to analyze customers or analyze potential thieves. You know, all of the digital video recording, you know, the cloud, do you bring it up? Is it sitting up in the cloud? How quickly can you move it? we show advanced POS exception reporting, but it's really beyond that. It is the technology that is available to aggregate data, to create reporting for it, and then develop apps for it. SUNY left this up here, but soon our store, district, and regional loss prevention managers, this is what they're going to work with. This is going to be their thing. And by the way, the information for them is going to be all tailored to them. Oh, by the way, it's also going to give them the exceptions, all of the parameters, the things that we want to manage. They'll be able to go in here, open it up, and they'll say, you've got these 3 things. Oh, how about this? I now have Internet Protocol cameras. I have this huge reporting system and database sitting back here. So I know that if you're the cashier, 4 strokes into you working on that, I know you're going to do an in-process void. My system sees that and says, oops, I'm going to take that, I'm going to take part of the video, and I'm going to send it to SUNY. I'm going to say, you got somebody stealing from me. SUNY's going to open this up. He's going to go, somebody's stealing from me. And he's going to be able to resolve that incident right there. Technology is moving so quickly. It's absolutely amazing. We have, refund management, again, is tied into all of that. Back to methodologies, shoplifting again, employee theft. We talked about organized retail crime, cargo theft. They know where merchandise is coming from off of, when we order it from Asia or China, they know what that's flowing, so they know where the TVs are, they know where the iPods are. And then financial crimes is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, which is identity theft, gift card cloning, etc. And then online fraud. Online fraud is huge because we're building these integrated retail programs where you can shop online, pick up in the store, or order in one store and pick it up in another store, which goes through the same systems. And I'll share a secret with you. We were updating our online fraud system for the holidays last year. It was actually a couple of years before. And we put it online, forgot to turn on the filters, and literally within 4 hours we had $6 million worth of fraudulent orders. Yeah, we're not talking little here. We're not talking nickels and dimes. I'm just trying to share with you the importance of the people that sit in these roles and how important they are to the corporations. And again, later in the news, you'll see, show me the money, and you'll show me why, after seeing all of this, you'll see why the compensation level goes to support this.